Hey everyone, I'm Nicole,
And I'm Gabrielle.
and we are the hosts of the Spiritual Sisters podcast.
Join us every week as we discuss all the spiritual topics like astrology, mediumship, psychic insights, and so much more.
We are often joined by others we have met along our spiritual journey who are well versed in many of these areas.
Get ready for enlightening discussions and interviews and personal experiences that we hope will expand your mind and get you thinking outside of the box.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just beginning your spiritual journey, there's something here for everyone.
Check us out every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts. See you then.
Bye!
Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Soul Ecosystem Podcast. I am your host, Anna Rising, and on this podcast, we discuss all things soul contracts. I am a professional soul contract reader, and I specifically work with a modality that combines Jewish mysticism, tarology, astrology, and numerology to bring you your soul contract, which is the agreement that you made before reincarnating in regards to what it is that you want out of this lifetime, out of this experience, what you want to experience, the lessons you want to learn, and the things that you want to happen in this incarnation in order to evolve your soul. I do not think it is an accident that on the last episode, episode 30, it was the last week that I was 30. And this episode is going to be episode 31, the first episode I'm doing as a 31-year-old. So happy Gemini season, happy birthday, Geminis. And happy birthday to all of the Cancer babies, this Cancer season that is starting very soon. I am very excited. Kind of. I feel like there was some resistance there. I don't know how excited I am about being 31. There's some resistance to say that I was excited about it, but it's also because the entirety of the month of June, I kept hearing from like my astrologer Gabrielle Celeste from the Spiritual Sisters podcast. I kept hearing that June is going to be the best month of the year, astrologically speaking. And June has been kind of an ego death for me. It has been very, very, like, I want to say cyclical, but it's more so of a end of a cycle for me, it feels like, because there was a lot of kind of ego deaths, kind of rebirths, but I feel like that's been my theme for the past few years. Maybe my Saturn return is ending soon. I don't know when it ends. Hopefully it has ended, and maybe that was kind of the final like death rattle of it. I'm not sure. But sorry, back to the topic. So last week's episode, I gave you guys a very, very quick look into the Destiny Weaver course that I'm going to be launching, to be announced at a later time. I'm going to be launching very soon for you guys. I specifically felt really, really called to Destiny Weaver because I could not vibe with doing a soul matrix course. It just felt like it wasn't the right time to do it. It feels like as a consciousness, the energy is so up in, not up in arms, but like up in the wind, like so fluctuating. Like there's lots of different timelines happening. There's lots of different energies and potentials happening. And I feel like if I do a course on the actual modality that I practice with, it is going to have to be at a later time when things settle down energetically, because I feel like this modality itself is going to shift. I feel like we are going to shift into a higher plane. And although we're going to be very much dealing with the same kind of patterns in our soul contracts, it's going to be slightly less dense, is what I'm hearing and what I've been feeling. So there was this resistance and I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm like, I want to launch this course so bad. I don't know why there's this resistance to it, but now I know why. It's because Destiny Weaver wanted to be born instead. And Destiny Weaver came about, if you haven't listened to the last episode, it came about as the idea of, can we rewrite our soul contracts? And if we could, how would we go about doing that? So, Destiny Weaver is going to be a very, very powerful tool for my spiritual girlies, for the girlies that have been doing the inner work, that have been recognizing the patterns that they have been repeating from lifetime into lifetime and can't figure out how to make that shift. This is going to be for them. The first launch of it is going to be the beta testing of it. So we are going to be going through it together. And I cannot wait to see the shift that it is going to have, because I feel like almost this like punch that's like, when you're gearing up to punch something and it's supposed to be like really strong. And it's very interesting that I am feeling this as an analogy of a punch. I just had a reading done that the reader was telling me that I have to stop making like small punches here and there. Like I have to really lean back and then lean into a very strong and powerful punch. So maybe this is the punch that he was referring to. This is going to be a very powerful tool for my fellow intuitives. Above all, I want to really hone in on the power that we have as souls, the power that we have within us to shift our destiny, to change our destiny. So I do not vibe at all with people that say that soul contracts are very set in stone, are very rigid. There's no leniency there. You set it beforehand and you can't shift it. You can't change it. You can't make tweaks towards it. In the incarnation, I do not agree with that at all. And that's my personal opinion. That's how I am reading the energy of the soul contracts. I also want to clarify that soul contracts are not punishments. They're not like karmic punishments. They're not pages or fate in a fatalistic sense. They are more so an outline. They are more so a little bit of a map, in the sense that they can show you certain points, certain destinations that your soul wants to go in, certain routes it wants to take. But exactly where you land on that map, you still have the free will and that range in order to pick and choose how far into the negative or the positive of that program you are willing to go into, how far you're willing to take it. Like the extremes of what happens to you is entirely up to you, but you are still very much in charge of the extremes that you experience. How far you want to take something, your soul is still the driving force there. So imagine your life as a loom and you are the weaver. Each belief, each kind of interaction that you have with another soul might appear as a thread in your soul contract. Each belief, each relationship or pattern is a thread. Some of the threads are entangled, enmeshed. Some of the threads are very easy, soft, delicate, silky, and others are very coarse and difficult to live through, difficult and limiting, in the sense that they limit your expansion, limit your evolution as a soul. The beauty is that you are the weaver. You get to select which of these threads you unweave and which you would like to weave into your soul contract, into your experience as the body that you are right now. How do you do that? This is where Destiny Weaver comes into play. This is where we are going to work with conscious awareness, emotional release, and energetic recalibration in order to shape our contract, shape our reality to look like the version of ourselves that we want to be. Not all contracts were meant to last forever. Karmic contracts that you might have with partners, with family members, can be released in an incarnation, and even soul contracts can be released and another one could take its place. If you think about generational curses and being a cycle breaker, being the black sheep of your family and deciding that you are not going to continue a certain cycle. You are, with this decision, you are making the choice to rewrite your contract. You're choosing to step out of it and write something else for yourself consciously. In some people's soul contracts, they are specifically meant to be the black sheep, be the one that kind of goes against the rest of the herd and detach from, let's say, a very hyper religious upbringing, or a very toxic family dynamic, or a family life of addiction, of alcoholism. But others, they decide in the incarnation that they want to not pursue that path, and they shift their contract in that way. I want to stress that this is not going to be a very easy process, because rewriting something that has been familiar to us from the beginning, from the day of our birth, is incredibly terrifying. It's scary because there's this familiarity of toxic relationships, familiarity of pain and suffering, and that is what feels safe. And initially, when I started to research how I could go about rewriting my soul contract, there was so much resistance there for me personally because of that very fear. You know what's familiar, you've lived with what's familiar, it feels safe to you, you know what to expect, you know how to handle it, you know how to approach it. What doesn't feel safe is the new, the unfamiliar, because you have no idea of how to go about being in that headspace, no idea of how to go about, let's say, having a healthy family dynamic, right? It's something that's strange, it's unknown, it's unfamiliar. And that already in and of itself creates some resistance for us that we have to kind of fight through in order to get to the other side of rewriting our soul contract. There could also be an obstacle of having your identity tied to a story of struggle. If you think about all of the people that have come from nothing, they have become wildly successful, sorry. Whenever you ask them to share their journey, they are very quick to bring up their story of struggle. I started from nothing, I started from the bottom, now I'm here. It's a common kind of theme. So one of the things that we will be putting away in the Destiny Weaver course is the old identity that we kind of hold on to with a very tight grip, because we feel like we need this struggle story, we need this underdog story in order to come out on top. Because if we don't struggle, that means that we won't learn about hard work, right? We won't learn about what it takes to succeed. And that is also another limiting belief. It is something that I have also needed to process. So a part of this journey in Destiny Weaver to rewrite our future, to rewrite our story, is also going to be to release that past, release a lot of fears that are keeping us in the same loops, keeping us in the same patterns that have us in the reality that we see now. But rewriting your contract isn't about denying the past. It's not about acting like it didn't happen. It's about choosing who you are now. Now, I wanted to share a little bit about the process of rewriting the soul contract itself that we are going to be meditating on and working on in Destiny Weaver. Part of the rewriting of your journey, part of the stepping into your higher self, the version of yourself that you see in the future, is to honor the person that got you where you are now. And I wanted to share a very powerful affirmation with you guys that you can work with throughout your everyday life and throughout the course. I'll be sharing it on the course too. That really touched me is this: I honor the woman I've been. I carry her strength forward. But today, I give myself permission to weave a softer thread. We're going to be looking into what's preventing you from living that cushy, soft thread life, what you need to release in order to welcome that thread in, and how you can really anchor it within yourself in order to get to the highest version of yourself. And I'm going to be doing a meditation for this that is going to be downloadable in the course that will teach you how to identify the old thread that is keeping you stuck in the same pattern, same cycle, same loop. We're going to learn how to honor it, release it with ritual, and rewrite it. And we're going to anchor it into your energy field so that the remnants, the energetic remnants of that thread are no longer there, are no longer viable, and we make it clear that we want a different energy in your soul contract. I want to emphasize this is a guided journey. You don't have to do it alone. I invite you to decode your own soul contract, learn your patterns, learn your cycles, and rewrite your path within a sacred community of other souls that are going to be going through the same kind of rebirth you are going through, and will anchor in the higher versions of themselves along with you. I cannot wait to share this course with you all, my friends. I cannot wait to see the transformation that this will kind of kick into gear. And I want to leave you with some reflective questions. What thread are you still carrying that you're ready to let go of? And what truth are you ready to weave in its place? When you think about soul contracts, when you think about your soul journey and what you want it to look like, what you want to experience in this incarnation, our first instinct is to ask for ease, ask for money, right? Monetary security, financial security. I invite you to dig a little bit underneath that, dig a little deeper into the need for that security, into what fear is bringing up that need. If you guys already know that this course is for you, feel free to DM me on Instagram at the Soul Ecosystem. I cannot wait to share this with you guys. I cannot wait to share the meditations with you, to share the visuals that I've been getting all throughout my meditations, and to really help you guys journey through this. I'm so excited, especially working one-on-one. So keep an eye out on my Instagram page. I will be posting about when it's going to launch there. And in the process of that, I have been feeling called to alter my services just a little bit. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of the Soul Ecosystem podcast. And if you want your own soul contract, feel free to go to my website at thesoulecosystem.com or my Etsy shop at the Soul Ecosystem to purchase your own soul contract. I will be taking away the PDF only, the service that only gives the PDF, and I'm going to only offer the soul contract with the intuitive reading along with it, because I've been feeling more and more called to really utilize the medicine behind soul contracts, and that can only really be carried through an intuitive call where I can really dive into your contract with you and channel for you. So you're going to see that option of only getting the PDF not be available anymore. So if you still see it on my site, it's not going to be up for much longer. I am going to be changing that. I'm going to be shifting that a little bit. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys have a lovely weekend and an amazing summer.